We're live. Good morning. Good morning, good evening. Why am I such a weird? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, extrapolated across the world, or whatever time you happen to be watching this. Probably after the fact, because as of right now, there's nobody watching. But that's okay. So few people actually watch this when it's live, and then most people watch it after fact, which is a shame because you're losing out on a couple of good perks. First and foremost is you get to talk to me. Yay! Chat. The other perk, of course, is if you share this video, we'll send you one of these lovely polishing cloths. Of course, any orders that you place during the live stream will come to you, regularly priced orders anyway, retail orders. Will come 10% off. You get 10% off. Just you know, just if you were a club member, same thing, same discount applies. We are continuing this week with our ongoing effort to catalog all of our products. We're still on bales. We're working our way through the bales right now, which are fun because it's always fun looking at new things. You know, we have so many products that even in the years that I've been here, every once in a while I still run across something where it's like, have I seen that before? I don't think I've seen that before. It looks familiar, but maybe not. So it's always fun. Maybe just looking briefly at the trade that we're going to go over today, I feel like I've seen them all. Haven't used them all, which is always the kicker. I always feel like I have way better insights into how you can use them if I've actually used them before. But you know, I can extrapolate a little bit, make it up as I go, like that. What else? Shipping. I know I do a little rant about shipping every week, and I am going to do a little mini rant this time. Not so bad. You know, I mean, yeah, Canada Post sucks, and luckily we use reshipping service that we can buy U.S. Postal Service postage and bring it across. They truck it across the border and they ship it from within the United States. So it's, you know, it's like we're there, which is great. But we've been having trouble with getting our shipments. You know, our factory is not here in the office in Vancouver. Our factory is in China, in Guangzhou. And I know I said that wrong. I always pronounce it wrong, but whatever. It's the big silver, stop it, your old story. My old story? Okay, well, too bad. You have to listen to it again. There you go, Bobby. So when we produce things all the time, and then semi-monthly, like twice a month, we get a shipment from there. You know, we pack up all the stuff that we've produced and we send it to us. Yes, I know no one is watching yet, but this will go up on YouTube and people will watch it later. Got it? You are this close to getting banned. How do you ban somebody? Get out of here. Anyway, so we're having trouble with shipments coming in from there. You know, they get packed up, they get shipped from the factory, they go to the airport, and then they sit there waiting for consolidation. You know, because something a lot of people don't realize is that probably half almost half, I think it's like 45%, something like that, just a little bit less than half, the air cargo is shipped on commercial air flights. You know, so when you're, you know, jump on a plane from wherever, you're a tourist or whatever, there's always air cargo in that thing, and airlines supplement their income that way. And you know, the problem when there's a global pandemic and nobody is actually traveling anywhere, those planes don't get filled up with air cargo, and or plane, because they're just not, you know, taken off. You know, the air flights have much reduced, so that available cargo space is much reduced and at a premium, and sometimes things wait. So that's pretty much the only big thing we're having trouble with, you know, logistics wise. Some countries are having a little easier time than others. Some people are having a little bit better. I know that we've shipped stuff into Germany and Netherlands. Man, that was fast. Shipped something from here to the Netherlands, and it was less time than it would have taken us to ship something from here to the next province, as I mentioned last week, right? Anyway, we had something from here to Edmonton, which is, you know, the next province over, so it's not like across the country or anything. And anyway, don't get me started on that thing. So let's just continue on with the bales now that we've gone over the thing. Oh, and one other thing, you know, custom work. You know, we do so much custom work, but it's getting tight now. If you want to get your stuff for Christmas, you'll have to get it in soon, because we're getting fast approaching the date where it will be impossible to get stuff for Christmas. You know, I always like to say that things, you know, in order from beginning to end, if it all goes smoothly, you can have it in your hands, you know, within 4 weeks. But with shipping and things, especially now this time of year, it's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. So things are going to slow down. You know, as much as we would like them to accelerate, it's just not going to happen until people start hopping on flights everywhere. So anyway, neither here nor there. Let's get on with the products. Our first item, and it's this is a sufficiently boring one. It's just a plain old snap-on bale, and this is kind of like strapped into this thing. So I'll actually pull one out of the bag so you can see. This is LJ 960 with a retail price of $1.47 and a wholesale price of 92 cents. No one is watching. Yeah, I know that. Oh boy. Right, so this is a pinch a snap-on rail, right? So once this is on, this just kind of, you know, snaps in. You can see that kind of opens up and snaps into whatever. You just dangle that from. Doesn't require any soldering, just requires your cooperation. And that's that LJ 960. Now, here's another one that I have seen a bunch of times, but people have bought it, but I'm not sure, you know, how the best way to use it. It's just a regular, you know, pin through the back bale, right? So it's got a pin that goes all the way through, and then will that come off? No, it's cinched on there. And there's a hole in the back of that thing there, and you can see that where that goes through. So this is pretty much how it's presented on the thing, with a cute little Y-shaped bale, I guess, for the chain to go through, right? LJ 380 with a retail price of $15.60 and a wholesale price of $12.48. And it's got a lovely little cubic zirconia in there. Doing, it's so cute. Here's our next big one. LJ 368 with a retail price of $9.40 and a wholesale price of $6.24. This is just a lovely, plain old triangle bale, right? With a lovely long leaf element with a cute little circle with a line through it. That has the pin, and the pin goes right through the loop in the other side. And that's pretty deep throat too. That's a good 20, 40 millimeters, maybe not, 30 millimeters maybe. So this would work for, actually work great for like a donut too, if it were a small donut or a pie bead, whatever you want to call it, right? You can go all the way through there, the top of one of those. Actually, that's what I would recommend it for. LJ 734 with a retail price of $7.28 and a wholesale price of $5.46. This is a lovely regular standard triangle kind of bale. It's a nice good opening, maybe 3 or 4 millimeters wide. This opening in between the leaves here with a little pinch bale, probably 6 or 8 millimeters wide, so you can get easily, you know, a slab that's like 6 millimeter. Is that right? Have these two pins kind of pinched together, and that lovely sort of I don't know, what do you call that, granulation, sort of faux granulation, that effect of the leaves. They're open, so, you know, whatever stone you put behind it will be nice and visible. Sondaria Bobby. Will be bad. Never banned anybody for that. How do you do that? I'm not even sure we can. LJ369 with a retail price of $15.99 and a wholesale price of $10.35. And this is all bent up, of course, because it's in the display. But this is just a regular pin through the back bale, right? Nice big tall one. Another nice big deep throat there, so you can. I don't mean that the way it sounds. You know, the throat is anyway, let's just keep going. So this would work great over a donut, right? Or a pie, or whatever you want to call it. And it's got this lovely dangle of a cute little heart, I guess. Butterfly. Something. I don't know. It can be whatever you think it is. LJ688 with a retail price of $32.31 and a wholesale price of $16.22. It's got, again, a lovely standard bale with a kind of a curvy component in the top with a little star bedecked with cubic zirconias on the front. And again, this is pretty deep. Could handle a small pie bead, although that's probably just as good for something with a hole near the end. Nice big thick cab. One thing about this that I quite love, the pin goes through that hole in the back, and then you've got a nice little cup out the back that when you take your piece, right, that's on the left, you can take a little tiny round nose pliers after it's through and just keep winding that up into a little tiny loop and just keep curling it until it's nice and tight, and then tuck it over sideways, and it'll sit inside this little indentation in the end of that thing, so it won't scratch on you and make you cranky. Very secure. I quite like that technique. It's not in all of them, but it should be. Anyway, neither here nor there. Our next item, LJ312 with a retail price of $15.63 and a wholesale price of $9.45. It's got this lovely round cubic zirconia halo, double halo of cubic zirconias, I guess. Or I guess it's still just a regular halo. If it's 2 rows, doesn't matter. Nice little cubic zirconia in the middle, probably like 3mm stone. And a cute little tab pinch bale. It's not really a pinch bale, it's a pin through the back bale. Pretty small, so it would have to be either a pretty thin or very close to the edge hole. And you can get a chain through that, clasp, that's good, I don't know, 3 or 4mm wide. Our next item, LJ, and this is upside down in this thing, and I think I'm going to have to pull one out of the bag to show you this. LJ616 with a retail price of $14.81 and a wholesale price of $9.95. And this works kind of like this. It's a right, these 2 loops, right? You can open that up, put this through your donut or your bales, for a donut for sure, and then cinch that closed. And then where the 2 loops come together, that's where the chain goes through, right? And it's got that lovely Celtic sort of design, that Celtic pattern, woven pattern through there. Kind of cute, kind of interesting. It's nice if you have the right size donut, so like a 20mm donut or maybe a 30mm donut would fit in there. Here's a lovely scalloped, and this is upside down too, lovely scalloped bale, LJ631 with a retail price of $12.22 and a wholesale price of $7.23. Let me get one of these out of the bag so you can see this again. This is set up, same idea, right? I can go through those things pinched together like that to hold that in, right? So you can have that up at the top, same that up at the bottom. quite lovely. So that's LJ with that LJ 631, retail price of $12.22, a wholesale price of $7.23. Our next item here is LJ 329 with a retail price of $18.74 and no, $10.74 and a wholesale price of $6.67. It's got just lovely circles, right, with that little crosshatch pattern down in the bottom and a row of cubic zirconias up at the top, kind of like a moon, maybe horizontal moon, and a lovely tab pin through bale, right. Again, it's got that kind of box bale up at the top. There's plenty of room for that chain to go through there. Or really, I guess the problem is getting a clasp through that, or the loop in the other end. It just has to be big enough to go through it. That's plenty big for most clasps to be able to fit through. LJ230 with a retail price of $13.99 and a wholesale price of $10.54. This is again another lovely curvy component up at the top with a plain old triangular bale at the top and this long pinch pin through the back bale. A lot of room there on the back for that pin to be able to go through. Yeah, just lovely. Can't go wrong. And this is nice and big wide, so if you've got you know, a carving that has a hole that's not very close to the edge, still really usable, still really good workhorse thing. This is one of my favorites, LJ340 with a retail price of $25.86 and a wholesale price of $18.89. And it's just a pin through bale, right? But it's a nice big thick one. Really serious business here going on here. And I just love that. I know this kind of just plain old curlicue, you know, elements, filigree kind of elements inside this thing, but it kind of reminds me of you know, Mjolnir castings that you see everywhere. I don't know why. It just gives me that that vibe. It's that lovely inverted teardrop bale up at the top with the curlicue element. Lots of room for that thing. And this so pretty thick. You can get it would have to be a really super thick slab, you know, to not be able to fit through there. So, oh god, even like 10 millimeters wide, which is pretty rare that you find those kinds of carvings that are that thick. And you know, but you can push that down to be whatever. I just love that nice. It has that nice sort of mix of elegance and cool factor. There's something a little more down to earth. LJ701 with a retail price of $12.42 and a wholesale price of $8.28. And it's just got a lovely triangular bale up the top, bedecked with some cubic zirconias in there. And you've got that lovely, I guess, oval shaped pinch bale. That's a traditional pinch bale. And you can get a slab, you know, something that's good, 4 millimeter thick, 6 millimeter thick through that very easily. No, this one is a little bit bent up, so I'm just gonna have to this is what happens when they're on the display for so long. I'll just show you the front. LJ 885 with a retail price of $19.36 and a wholesale price of $11.61. And it's just a lovely cute little 4-leaf clover there with I guess it's a flower with some hearts petals bedecked with that cubic zirconias and the cute little vines out the front. And then it's got that pin through the bale. It works out the back, and you know, sorry this is all bent up, but it's from, you know, being on the displays and they get squished. And this has got that lovely cup on the back, right? That once that pin bale is through, you can make a couple loops with around those pliers and just push that, snip the excess off and push that down into that cup so it hides in there. Very cute. Very elegant, and you can put some pretty big things in here, you know. That's a good, I don't know what that is, 16, 18 millimeters deep. So depending on how big or small your piece is, you know, we definitely have something that'll work. It may not be something that you're in love with, but we definitely have something that'll work. And bonus if it is something you're in love with. LJ 809 with a retail price of $675 and a wholesale price of $406. And it's just a cute little butterfly right in the front with the cute little wings. I know it looks like it, but there are no cubic zirconias in there. That's just the casting of that. Nice big round, or I should say oval pinch bale, right? You can see that, the two little pins from the pinch bale to hold that in. That's so cute. That works great close to the top of a piece. And this, I also love this one too. It's kind of weird. LJ612 with a retail price of $17.93 and a wholesale price of $11.96. It's a pinch bale, right? Standard old pinch bale. Let me just pull this apart a little bit, so you can see the two ends, right? Now they're held together here by a bridge at this point. So you probably can't put anything much thicker than a 4 or 6 millimeter slab through there. And the hole has to be pretty close to the edge. And I just love how it's kind of the same on the front or the back, right? So there isn't really a front or back. You can do whatever. And just those lovely curly, you know, components mirrored in the front and the back. I just like, I don't know why. I just think it's very cool. Now, clearly, if you don't need the pins to be that big, it's okay to snip them down a little bit. All of the force is going to be right up against the edge of the piece when you're, you know, with the weight of the thing pulling down. And people ask me all the time, you know, is it secure? It doesn't seem secure, you know, but again, because the pin is perpendicular to the piece and the hole is also perpendicular to the piece, all of the weight is straight down, and the pin can't pull out because you're not pushing it out sideways. It's going to be twisting, and it'll hold up against the inside of the hole there. I mean, worst case scenario, the top of the stone will break off before you, you know, pull that out. Just saying. Here's one of the all-time most popular bales that we have, and probably because it's just so simple. LJ301 with a retail price of $9.49 and a wholesale price of $5.93. And yeah, this one, I think I can't even tell you how many of these we've sold. It's in the many, many thousands a year we sell of this thing. Again, just because it's super versatile, it's just about the right, perfect size. It's a nice little chevron, you know, the tab at the top, a regular old triangular bale, so it's kind of classic, very simple, but I think it's the throat. It's just perfect for anything, you know. It's not super far away from the top, but it's far enough away that the hole doesn't have to be really close to the edge, and it's not super thick, but it could work for something 6 millimeters thick, maybe 4 millimeters thick would be ideal. And it's just all around just super versatile. And yeah, I think this is probably the single best selling bale that we have, just because of that. I think I sell this a lot to people who do stained glass. Don't know why. Probably because, you know, a lot of times when you're stacking glass, you don't want it to be super thick. Although I guess there's definitely the ability to do that. Here's another one of those things, and we have quite a few of this sort of style, right? Like you saw this one with the that little three-dimensional or that four-leaf clover kind of thing, and then there was this other one with right, with another flower, that kind of just a curvy, long bale, pinch bale, same thing, nice big pinch bale with that curvy component. And that thing, you know, I feel like there must be a name for this thing. It's just two ovals intertwined with each other. Can't remember the name of that off the top of my head, but I'm sure there is a name for that. Bedecked with cubic zirconias set all the way through there, and of course cast to look like it's, you know, three-dimensional, like they're fit through. And this just opens up, and again, you know, apologies for the bent pieces, but this is what happens when they're in display for years, and people at shows keep pulling them apart, and then they get bent around. But you can see they get pretty wide, and then the pin goes through that cup. You can make a little loop to close that up. Very gorgeous, very cute. No muss, no fuss. Here's another. I don't know. You're thinking, wait, this is exactly the butterfly we looked at before. It's not. It's close, but it's I think this one actually does have a cubic zirconia. No, it doesn't. Looked like it did. But here's another, I guess, kind of like another stylized butterfly pinch bale with a cute little pinch. Again, this small one, so little crystals with a hole near the top, or just little carvings. Maybe a little jade Buddha. It would have to be a pretty big one, though. Otherwise, you have a butterfly, you know, sticking on the top of his head like a little girl with a bow. LJ808 with a retail price of $6.94 and a wholesale price of $4.16 on this one. And that is definitely a way to diminish the gravitas of your Buddha. Just a pretty cute little bow on the top of his head. LJ918 with a retail price of $9.10 and a wholesale price of $5.46. And this is another one of those that I'm gonna pull out of the bag and show you one. Just like what was the you know, that one with the little Celtic, you know. It opens up like that. You can put this through your donut, your pie bead, whatever, and then bend that closed. So when the two loops meet like that, they form a bale, and this forms a nice cute little flower. It's like a little tulip, you know, pattern over the top of that. Again, you know, you need to have a hole big enough for this to be able to get through or to push through. So it works perfect for those donuts. If you don't know what it means when I say donut, you can look up, sometimes they call them pie beads. You know, it's just a disc with a big hole carved out the middle. You've seen them. I know you've seen them. You think you haven't, but LJ728 with a retail price of $467 and a retail price of $373. And it's a cute little, I wonder if you can see, it's a cute little moon with a star. Tiny little pinch bale, so this would have to be a pretty small piece. But it's cute, right? A little moon, a little star. How can you go wrong with that? Probably like a 4mm thick slab at the most will fit through that, and that's pretty close to the edge. Probably again 3 or 4mm from the edge of the hole that you're looking at. And I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. Here we have another. I just love that bale up at the top. That triangle bale with the three. It almost looks like a Mercedes-Benz logo, but I think that's maybe upside down, right? Isn't that? Anyway, cubic zirconia is bedecked inside there, right? Pave style, and a nice wide tab pin through bale. It's pretty good thickness. Again, probably a 6mm at the most piece would be able to go through there. If it were that thick, the hole would have to be pretty close to the edge though, because there's not a lot of room in there. So maybe a 4mm thick slab would work better. You know, piece there. And again, ideally, edges curved or beveled. If they were just flat edges, again, you have to be a little bit further away from the end, lest your pieces get cracked. You get cracks, but just love that cute little bale. And then for today, the last one, LJ 261 with a retail price of $23.13 and a wholesale price of $14.46. And I'm gonna pull one of these out of the bag because it's difficult to show you this on the thing, and you'll get a good idea for what's up with the price. This is hinged, right? So it's a snap-on bale. You can unsnap that, connect your chain through that, and that snaps on. And then over here, there's a little cup and peg, a little screw-on cup and peg. Right, so the pearl or whatever dangles from behind there, behind that little, oops, sorry, let me move that more into frame. So the pearl dangles from in back, is dangling in back. So I guess if you have a pearl, that's kind of not perfectly beautiful, right? And you can adjust these spirals to nest around the pearl if you like, depending on how big or small that is. Right, it's just super interesting piece, super versatile piece, right? I always love these necklace enhancer types, or necklace enhancers, but these hinged bales that you can remove and you don't have to unstring a necklace or something to get a piece of these off or on easily. Quite versatile, quite friendly, quite gorgeous. Again, LJ 261 with a retail price of $23.12 and a wholesale price of $14.46. And that is it for today. 35 minutes. We're doing good. We're doing good. I wanted to try to keep them, first we tried to keep them under an hour, then I wanted to keep them around half an hour. We went back and forth. I got notes. The notes said, we'll just stick to one tray per week. I think that's a good idea. Instead of trying to cram two things and then I'm rushing at the end and there's no time. Yeah. So that's it. That was the latest tray of bales. There's more bales next week. Again, there's always super interesting things. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, we're up for it. We love to hear everything. You can reach me directly, mark@canadafindings.com, or through, you can message us through Facebook, which this is on right now, or you can message us on YouTube. I'll be perfectly honest, I don't read the comments on YouTube. I don't care. But somebody does, and somebody, will forward it to me or get back to me. I think it's probably best to, if you want to message me, either you can go do it through the website too. Have the little chat bot thing. That's actually us who do those chats when you, not in the middle of the night. If it's the middle of the night, nobody's answering your chat. But if it's during times where we're up and awake, yeah, possible. We'll definitely answer your things. During business hours, absolutely. We're here. So if chatbots on the website is your thing, that's great. You can always call, take your phone calls. You can get all that information somewhere on wherever this is on Facebook. Facebook. I don't have Facebook myself personally on my phone. I don't use it. I had a Facebook account years ago, but we use it here for this, obviously. So you may not be able to get a hold of me on Facebook directly, but definitely through the actually, I think the chat, the messenger chat, goes through a third-party piece of software that comes to us directly. So I don't know. Either way, there's always a way to get a hold of us. If you have any questions, it doesn't have to be about what we talked about this week. Bales, could be about anything. Could be about anything, even jewelry related. I'm having trouble soldering and stuff, even though that's not really your thing. I've been teaching jewelry for 30 years, jewelry fabrication, so there isn't a question that I have not heard. And in fact, my motto is that the only dumb question is the one not asked. So ask away. We're here. We're always here for you. If you have any custom requests, please make them soon. You won't find a better price anywhere on custom jewelry, and that I guarantee. I'm not just saying that because I work here. It's just like, we have figured out a way to do this that is super cost effective, and it's just, the quality is there. It's always going to be good. It's always, it's us. It's us. Us. Quality is always there. Never an issue. In the meantime, we'll see you next Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific, and extrapolate it out to wherever you are. You can do the math. Figure it out. Google, what time is it in British Columbia? That's where we are. But in the meantime, yes, take care of yourself. Take care of the planet. Take care of your mental health. And keep those creative juices flowing. Just keep making stuff. Just keep making stuff. Even if you don't feel like it. Just something simple, something stupid, something you've done 100 times before. Somebody asked me once, actually I get asked this pretty often, how do you get past those times where you have like a mental block, where you have like artist block, where you're like, you're not inspired and there's just nothing is coming to the front of your mind, nothing new. And the best way I've found to get over that is to make something that you've done before that you can do easily, that has a couple of different techniques involved, and I'll explain why in a minute. Something that you don't have to think very hard about, something that you can just let your mind wander as you're doing it. If you're familiar with the steps, you're familiar with all the tools that you're going to need, and you're familiar with all the different techniques, and you've successfully completed that technique many times. If you just sit down and you start making something like that you've done before, the simple act of going through the motions of and especially if you can let go a little bit and let your mind wander, the synapses start firing and your brain starts telling your hands what to do, and your hands know what to do, and they start working, and eventually those synapses start looking for other pathways to go through, and they'll start creating new ones, and that's when what they call the creative juices, that's when they start flowing, right? Once you're in the throes of that fugue state where you get into when you're working on a piece. So if you get stuck, just don't put it down, don't walk away. Make something that's familiar, make something that's easy, make something that's a thing, and then the rest will come eventually. Even if it doesn't come that moment, just a simple act of keep working, right? I have a friend who's a writer who always, his thing is like, it doesn't matter how bad whatever it is that I'm writing, what I'm putting on the page, as long as something is going on the page. It's very easy to look at the stuff that you've done before and then say, well, we can change this, we can change that, we can do this thing. But if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. So keep working, keep making stuff. Because again, this is it's not like, you're a dentist or you work at the DMV or something, where nobody wants to be there. This is a jewelry. It's fun. It's happy. It's creatively fulfilling. So keep being creatively fulfilled, and yes, and all that other stuff. Take care of yourself. Take care of the planet. Take care of your mental health, and we will see you next week. Alrighty. Bye-bye.